Fallout 5 is set to happen at some stage in the future, with the first mention of the next Fallout game coming back in 2021. At that time, it was revealed that studio director Todd Howard had a single-page design document for the next entry in the post-apocalyptic series. What was on this document is still being kept under wraps, and since Bethesda plans to work on the next rad-filled adventure after the highly anticipated Skyrim sequel, The Elder Scrolls 6, there's still a lot of mystery surrounding the new game's direction. It's safe to say it's going to be a long wait for what is easily one of the biggest upcoming Bethesda games to arrive, and while Howard has said in the past that the studio has nothing to talk about in regard to the shape of Fallout 5 just yet, there have been some interesting little kernels of information that we've brought together here. There's also the fact that Amazon Prime's TV show Fallout Season 2 is set to release in December, as announced during Gamescom 2025, which has some fans wondering if we'll get a Fallout 5 update around then as well. That's just speculation right now though. However, it's not impossible either, considering how much of a RPG kick Bethesda's brand has been on lately, thanks to the likes of The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, which launched last year, along with the 2024 release of the shiny current-gen upgrade for Fallout on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, and the Fallout 4 conversion mod, Fallout London. It's unlikely we'll see a Fallout 5 release date anytime soon, but at least we know that it's on its way. We can also start speculating a release window, and currently, all signs point towards a 2030 release at the very earliest. Right now, Bethesda is firmly set on The Elder Scrolls 6 as its next major port of call. This comes off the back of Oblivion Remastered Shadow Drop launch on April 22, 2025, which was made in tandem with Virtuos Studios. During a 2024 interview with Variety, Todd Howard also told fans that it takes a good 5 years to make a new Fallout game. With that in mind, Fallout 5 is unlikely to come out before 2030, since The Elder Scrolls is only aiming to be completed sometime in 2026. Fallout 5 is on its way, but Bethesda has confirmed that The Elder Scrolls 6 is first. With that still a few years off, it's likely that the Fallout 5 release date won't be until around 2030. We have waited as long as a decade between entries to our favorite post-apocalyptic series in the past. Since Fallout 76 was announced 2 years on from Fallout 4, the same gap between Fallout 3 and New Vegas, it looks likely that we will be waiting a long time for Fallout 5. In an interview with IGN in 2021, Todd Howard confirmed that The Elder Scrolls 6 release date comes first, with that not expected until at least 2026 due to Bethesda's previous focus on Starfield. 2030 looks like a reasonable expectation for our next adventure outside the vault. A new report about Fallout 5 has some bad news about the release date of the next Fallout game. It is no secret that the primary focus of Bethesda Game Studios right now is The Elder Scrolls 6, which itself is reportedly not releasing until 2028. This means that Fallout 5 is not the primary focus of Bethesda Game Studios currently. Whether it's in pre-production in the meanwhile, we don't know, but it means Fallout 5 is far away. We already knew this, but a new report gives some more precise information. The report comes the way of Xbox insider Colt Eastwood. According to the popular YouTuber, Fallout 5 is at least 5 to 6 years away. In other words, the earliest it will release is 2030 or 2031. And this is if everything goes smoothly, not just with its own development, but the development of The Elder Scrolls 6. One of these two happening is unlikely, as modern game development is often plagued with issues, but both happening seems particularly unlikely. Unfortunately, this is the extent of the information provided about the Fallout 5 release date. Eastwood does mention that Bethesda is open to handing over the reins of Fallout, but only to an extent. To this end, a Fallout 4 spin-off in the style of Fallout New Vegas is reportedly in the works at the developer of the Obsidian Entertainment. However, Bethesda and Bethesda Game Studios are not about to hand over the reins of the core numbered games. Consequently, this means it's likely going to be well over 15 years between the release of Fallout 4 and Fallout 5. Starfield is primarily responsible for this huge gap, and by most metrics, it does not seem the sci-fi experiment was worth putting off both new installments in The Elder Scrolls and Fallout for so long. All of that said, be sure to take this new Fallout 5 report with a grain of salt. The source in question has provided accurate scoops in the past, but not consistently to the point that this can be treated as pseudo-official information. As for Bethesda and Xbox, neither have commented on this Fallout 5 report. If this changes, we will update you accordingly. Previous Fallout games have landed on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation consoles across the board, with Fallout 4 being treated to a standalone VR version for the HTC Vive, Windows Mixed Reality, and Valve Index. Whether or not this broad support will apply to Fallout 5 in the long term remains to be seen. But the new Fallout game should follow in the footsteps of its immediate forerunners, Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6. This means we suspect that it'll first arrive on Game Pass, Xbox Series X, and PC. The Switch, too, has been adding more big games to its platforms and FPS titles thanks to its new mouse controller settings. We have Borderlands 4 being confirmed for that platform, so we may see Fallout 5 potentially getting added to upcoming Switch 2 games as well. In late 2021, director and executive producer Todd Howard said Bethesda has a one-pager for Fallout 5, but it's still a while off. It wasn't much, but it was enough to set the rumor mill alight. With the series, fans speculating en masse about Fallout 5's potential setting, story, and gameplay features. In a conversation with IGN during E3 2022, Howard also said, "Yes, Elder Scrolls 6 is in pre-production, and we're going to be doing Fallout 5 after that, so our slate's pretty full going forward for a while." In other news, executive producer of the Fallout TV show Jonathan Nolan teased that the hit Amazon Prime series is like Fallout 5 itself. Now, obviously, the show and the upcoming game aren't connected directly, but Nolan has had conversations with Howard, and we assume that the stories won't be overlapping. This means that we are guessing that Fallout 5 will stay far away from any themes and plot threads shown in Fallout Season 2. Interestingly, though, Howard is also said to have stopped some Fallout 5 ideas from appearing in the show, but the showrunners are, of course, keeping those ideas under wraps. Season 2 is expected to make an appearance at Gamescom 2025, so hopefully we'll get some more sneaky Fallout 5 teases then as well. It looks like fans can relax about every upcoming Bethesda game being online-focused. In an interview with German game site GameStar, Todd Howard was asked if all future Bethesda games would incorporate multiplayer, while Howard goes on to say that there may be some social features or integrations they have yet to come up with. It sounds as if Fallout 5's focus will be on the single-player experience. Speaking on the Xbox 2 podcast back in July 2025, Windows Central's executive editor Jez Corden revealed that Fallout 5 has officially been greenlit. This report took place after the layoffs at Microsoft, with Corden implying the budget used to create the now-defunct Bethesda MMO would be moved to fund the upcoming Fallout sequel. Official Fallout 5 news is thin on the ground. The most recent news from the same IGN interview is that Bethesda has a one-pager on what they want to do with Fallout 5. Alas, there was nothing more that Howard could share. We do know that Bethesda thinks carefully about adding multiplayer to each of its major releases. Speaking to Mashable in 2015, Howard said, "Believe it or not, every time we do a game, we design a multiplayer mode just to see what we could do." Fallout was a purely single-player series before the release of Fallout 76, and that didn't exactly go down well with fans, so expect Fallout 5 to feature a lot more single-player content than 76 when it does eventually release. We also expect Fallout 5 to utilize a new engine. While Starfield is powered by Creation Engine 2, visually it already looked dated by the time the space game actually shipped. At the very worst, we assume the Creation Engine will receive a hefty upgrade by the time Fallout 5 ships. Since it's still very much early days, we won't know where Fallout 5 will take us for quite some time, but Howard has said that Fallout 5 and future games in the series will mostly be set in the United States. Previous entries have historically taken us to post-apocalyptic versions of cities in the US, from the likes of Boston in Fallout 4 to Washington, D.C. in Fallout 3. The next RPG looks set to continue down this path, with Howard saying in a kind of funny interview that, "My view is, part of the Fallout shtick is on the Americana naivete, and so for us right now it's okay to sort of acknowledge those other areas. But our plan is to predominantly keep it in the US. The Fallout series has covered quite a bit of ground in the US so far, but there are so many possibilities when it comes to prominent cities. Fallout 5 could take place in, should it bring us to a new location, which seems likely. Ever since a trademark application for Fallout New Orleans was filed to the EU Intellectual Property Office in 2016, rumors of a Deep South addition to the series have been swirling. We have visited swampy environments before in Fallout 3's DLC, Point Lookout, and Far Harbor in Fallout 4, so take this rumor with a pinch of salt. When have we visited Chicago in the Fallout series before? 10 of our most arbitrary points to you if you recall the intro to Fallout Tactics. We may have only visited the home of Al Capone and Deep Dish Pizza briefly, but there's a chance that it could be a Fallout 5 location. In New Vegas, devs hints at Enclave outposts in Chicago. After all, another rumored destination that has appeared in the series already is Alaska, but that was just before the bombs dropped in the Great War of 2077. Operation Anchorage, The first Fallout 3 DLC pack is named after the greatest battle in the series, Alternative Universe: The Liberation of Anchorage, Alaska, from occupying Chinese troops. In the DLC, you travel back to 2076 via your Pip-Boy, but it would be great to trace the aftermath of this famous fight in Fallout 5. Could Fallout 5 see a return to the original location? Both Fallout 1 and 2 were set in California, but the Fallout TV series has now taken us back to our roots, being set in LA. With the timeline of the Fallout series presumably taking place before Fallout 5, perhaps we'll pick up in the same location. A Fallout game has never been set outside the US, but could Fallout 5 be the first? Maybe we'll be venturing into Chinese or Russian territory to allow us to see the world-consuming conflict from the perspective of America's biggest Fallout foes. Equally, what about the European Commonwealth? Whether it is London, Berlin, Paris, or Rome, it is an enticing prospect to visit Europe after decades of struggles over resources and civil wars decimated the Union.